What is up, everyone? We're back again with another review, and it's going to be for the 2023 film Unwelcome. This is directed by John Wright and stars Hannah John Kamen and Douglas Booth. After a traumatic event, a couple who move to a new house in Ireland prepare to bring up their unborn baby, and they are warned that they must leave a blood offering every night at the bottom of the garden to keep the little people happy who live down there. So where else can this movie go with a plot synopsis like that? Kind of feels like it's inevitable that this movie is going to be a shitfest, and even reading that out loud kind of felt weird and sounded very, very silly. But it's horror, and I was always going to check this out. Now, part of me feels like we're not really allowed to enjoy movies like this anymore. If you look at the likes of Leprechaun or The Gate, them type of films were just accepted by movie lovers around the world because cheesy horror was constantly rolled out then. But in this day and age, with the social media wave and indie movies everywhere, blockbusters being more clever with what they do, and directors finding new ways to film, I just feel like these type of films just don't get made anymore, especially cinema releases like this one. Now, you may have drawn up your own conclusions of what the villains in this film are going to be like, and you will be right to a degree. However, there's a side story kind of going on there that sort of takes over the main story and turns Unwelcome into a home invasion film. These little people aren't the only things that this couple have got to face. Now, Cole Meany and his family are the bad eggs in this village full of likeable side characters and happy people, if you like, and they bring a lot of trouble and squabbles to this main couple that we're following in this film. And I thought the movie worked best when it was like this because it all felt very grounded and realistic. There was lots of tension there. You didn't quite know what was going to happen with the awkwardness of some of the situations. And even though this side story sort of is built up for the third act, it made me root for this couple and care about them and want them to get out of this situation and away from these horrible, nasty people. And the main couple in this movie were likeable characters, Hannah John Kamen being probably the more likeable out of the two, or the better actress if you like, but both of them put in decent performances, I thought, and they had good chemistry. They seemed like they were really together and good people. They had this newborn baby on the way, and they're just excited for the future, and you did want them to just have a nice, happy life. But after this very traumatic opening scene, you really just feel for them because trouble follows them around everywhere. And even one scene, Douglas Booth's character says, "Look, this is just unfair. This shouldn't be happening to us. We just want a peaceful life." And I was just nodding along thinking, yeah, Jesus, man, give that fucking guy a break. When these little people entered the fray, the movie still felt very threatening, and it even went for it with the gore, and a lot more than a previous movie we've had this year involving a 4-foot killer running around, and I've got to give it respect for that. The movie could have easily went down the CGI path as well, but I've got to respect them for not doing that because these little people were done with practical effects or puppets were used, which is better because if this was done with CGI, I would have been took out the film straight away. CGI is hardly ever scary, in my opinion, and I expected them to look terrible, but they looked a lot better than I thought they would. And I was really digging this film all the way until the last 10 minutes, because like I said, there was inevitability about this movie, and it happened. They went down the silly route a little bit, in my opinion, and there was lots of tacked on comedy that just didn't need to be there because the entire runtime hardly had any comedy at all, apart from maybe one or two lines of dialogue. And it's a shame. It's a shame because I really didn't want it to do this. The movie was very, very grounded for a long time, and I just wish it stayed that way, despite how ridiculous the concept is. And speaking of the dialogue, something that just felt off at times was when characters were explaining to other characters about these little people at the bottom of the garden, and you have to leave this blood sacrifice. And these characters just kind of nod along and go, yeah, okay, yeah. And they just seem to instantly believe the other character and get on with their life. And it's like information is just passed along between the two characters for the audience so we can move on to the next scene. And that just felt very out of place because in real life, characters would not react that way if someone told them there were little people living down the bottom of the garden. Also, a lot of this movie could have been avoided. Now, when I was talking about the home invasion stuff, I don't know about you guys, but if someone was working on my house and they had a dump in my toilet and didn't flush it, then proceeded to smoke weed on my doorstep around my pregnant wife, and then one of them made me call him daddy instead of his real name, I probably wouldn't let them in the house again. But poor character decisions kind of pushed that to one side. Now, I know they needed this for the film, but it took a little bit of believability out of it, unfortunately. However, I had a better time with Unwelcome than I thought I would. But if horror isn't your jam and this isn't your type of thing, I can see you hating this movie. The last 10 minutes kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, and movie goers remember the finale of movies when they go to cinema. And a couple in my cinema even walked out before it ended because it kind of got silly. And they won't be the only people who do that when going to see this film. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Unwelcome a 7 out of 10. This is the height of what I expected this movie to be. I didn't think it would be any more than this. But the fact that it actually got a 7 isn't bad at all. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Unwelcome is that the trailer for this film actually came out over a year ago. Can you believe that? And I didn't watch the trailer. All I did was read the plot synopsis. And I'm going to kind of do this a lot more with films this year. I just think it's more exciting going to the cinema when you hardly know anything about the film. And I suggest most of you do it as well. Okay guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. Please consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a like. It would really help me out. Thank you very much. I've got lots more reviews coming, lots more videos. If you want to see more 2023 movie reviews, they will be down below. Thanks so much guys. Take it all easy. And I'll see you all next video. Oh, by the way, if you've seen this film, don't forget to leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you all. I promise. Take care.